Now at 6, early voting for the March primary election is underway with the races for governor, attorney general, and even 2 local elections heating up.
Well, starting today, people in Texas will get to decide who will represent each party come November. If you do plan on voting early, at least today, you have about an hour until polling locations close.
When you do go to vote, bring some form of identification. There are a few options like a driver license, Texas election certificate, or a personal ID card.
Some important dates for you to remember. President's Day, the 21st, early voting locations are closed. Early voting ends on the 25th, with Election Day coming up on March 1st. If you're planning to vote by mail, thanks to new legislation signed into law by Governor Abbott, your ballot might look a little different. So here's what's changed. Those 3 boxes at the top of the envelope will have to be filled out. They have to include your driver's license number, personal ID, or election ID certification number. It needs to be filled out properly and match your voter registration record on file for that vote to count.
Friday is the last day to apply for a mail-in ballot in Travis County. A KXAN viewer reached out to us saying she had a hard time getting hers submitted.
Our politics reporter Daniel Marin spoke with that woman, and he also has a look at new polling when it comes to the new rules to vote here in Texas.
Pflugerville retiree Mindy Sue Cohen loves her morning coffee, and she loves her freedom to vote, specifically by mail. But this election cycle, she's had some issues.
This is completely egregious.
Cohen says she sent her vote-by-mail application to the Travis County Elections Division back in January. She showed me a copy of it. A month later, she says she was told they couldn't confirm whether it was in their system or not. So Cohen went and turned in her application in person at the county building on Airport Boulevard, which she said had no open parking spots.
I was able to walk a long distance through the parking lot, through traffic, to get to their office, but not everybody's going to be able to do that. This is a deterrent to voting, and I think it's reprehensible.
Cohen says she doesn't blame Travis County. She blames the stricter voting rules set in place by Texas lawmakers in the last legislative session. GOP lawmakers cited election security concerns. The changes, as KXAN has reported, have led to application rejections and even litigation as the March primary gets moving.
I think the only way that you're going to see any shifts in these changes in the mail-in ballot procedures is if there is a judicial intervention.
Fresh polling from UT Austin's Texas Politics Project shows a party line split on this issue. Republicans heavily favoring stricter rules to vote in Texas, following repeated unsubstantiated claims that the 2020 presidential election was stolen.
I think this reflects the cultivation of doubt in the integrity of the process.
Back in Pflugerville, Cohen says she knows there are others just as fired up as she is.
Maybe they don't feel comfortable for whatever reason standing up for their voting rights, but I have no problem doing that.
Daniel Marin, KXAN News.
GOP state leaders, including Governor Abbott, have maintained the new voting rules make it easier to vote and harder to cheat. KXAN emailed and called the Travis County Elections Division for comment on Cohen's concerns, but we have not yet heard back.
Looking at the bigger picture, according to our partners at the Texas Tribune, the second phase of the 2020 election audit will happen this year. Documents from the state say the audit will look at voting machine accuracy, rosters for early voting, and forms revealing who handled sealed ballot boxes and other election materials. It comes after the first phase looked at election data from 4 major counties to see if manual counts matched up with electronic ones. According to the state's review of those counties' partial manual counts, there were a few differences between the tallies, and counties were able to justify the inconsistencies.